Hello, this is Daniel WIAFE with Vegas Divorce Pros out here in beautiful and sunny, awesome Las Vegas, Nevada. And I am doing a video which is actually answering the question, what do you do if your husband refuses to sign the divorce papers? All right. That is a question that we get a lot from a lot of our clients, and I'm here to answer those questions. Before we get started with this video though, I do want to make our disclaimers that are needed and required by the states. Our disclaimers are actually below this video, but basically we are not attorneys, we're not authorized to practice law, we're document preparers, and we are registered and hold a $50,000 bond as required by the state of Nevada. So as I said before, you can look below this video to see the full disclaimer, but let's get started on this video. So first off, you guys, make sure you subscribe to our channel, and that way you'll get a lot of great tips and training and free lessons on what you need to do when you are going through a divorce or contemplating a divorce, annulment, legal separation, whatnot. If you know somebody that is going through a divorce or legal separation or an annulment, feel free to share this video with them as well, okay? But let's answer that question, what to do if your husband refuses to sign those darn Las Vegas divorce papers, okay? So what you want to do, ladies and gents, because anybody can be married to a husband, right? So what you want to do is you want to start off with a complaint for divorce. And basically with a complaint for divorce, that is going to be a document which only requires one signature, which is your signature. So you're going to fill that out, and then you're going to describe what you want out of the divorce. So it's going to ask you for pertinent information such as your full name, date of birth, email address, physical address, and then you are going to put down what you want in regards to property, debts, spousal support. If you guys have kids, you want to put down what you want to do in regards to custody, in regards to visitation, child support, who claims the kids for taxes, and then also if somebody needs to be restored back to their maiden name, you also want to go ahead and put that down as well, okay? And then you're going to have a cover sheet as well, and then you are going to need to have what is called a summons. And this document basically states to your spouse once they are served that, hey, you have been sued for a dissolution of marriage and you have 21 days to respond back if you want to contest it, okay? So you're gonna take all that and you can either take it to the courthouse, pay a $299 court filing fee as of the time of this recording, or you can file it online through a software called Odyssey. And then you'll just pay, you'll scan all your documents, get it filed. You'll pay a $303 court filing fee to get it filed online, okay? But it saves you a trip to the courthouse, okay? You go to the courthouse on Pecos and Bonanza, and yeah, you can literally spend a full day out there, okay? So once those documents have been filed, you typically need to wait about a day, usually sometimes a little bit less, for the summons to get issued by the court clerk, okay? And then from that point, what you're going to need to do is you're going to want to have a third party, a process server, or a sheriff serve the complaint and also the summons to your spouse, okay? You want to have them served to your husband, okay? And then at that point, you're going to have them fill what is called an affidavit of service. And this basically tells the court that your spouse was in fact properly served, okay? That's very important. And then once your spouse is served, they have 21 days to respond back to the courthouse, okay? So two things can happen once they're served. Either they respond back or they don't, okay? So let's go the easy path. Let's pretend for a moment that your husband does not respond back, okay? Fingers crossed. Hopefully they don't, right? So if they don't respond back within that 21-day time limit, then you can file what is called a default. And that default basically filed or signed with the court basically states that they are in default judgment and that you are moving on with finishing the case. Okay? That being said, you guys, you need to make sure that all the additional paperwork has been filed with the courthouse. So you need to have a affidavit of residency filed with the court. And this is a document which you have a friend, coworker, family member sign, which basically tells the court that you have lived in Nevada for at least 6 weeks. So you need to fulfill those residency requirements. And then you are going to want to ask the court for a summary disposition, meaning you want the court to sign off on your decree without you actually having to appear in court. So you're going to need to have a request for summary disposition, which is requesting that the court hears your case without you being present. And then you want to file what's called an affidavit in support of a request for summary disposition of decree of divorce. And I know that is a long word to say. And basically that affidavit is basically going to be your testimony of what you would have said to the judge had you been in court for that hearing, okay? And then if there's any other additional documentation that needs to be filed, then you need to file that, okay? And then once all those documents have been filed, then you want to submit the decree of divorce to the judge to have him or her sign, okay? You can either email it to the proper departments, or you can take it down to the family courthouse down there on Pecos Bonanza, go to the 3rd floor, and they're gonna have judges' boxes, and then you just put your decree in the proper box, okay? And the decree is basically stating, hey, everything's been filed, and I'm asking for the judge to sign off so that I can get my divorce finalized, okay? That being said, you guys, if you do everything correctly, okay, then, and your spouse has not responded back to the divorce, then typically you're looking at about a 2 to 3 month process and your divorce will be complete, okay? And this is if your spouse is not agreeable to sign the divorce papers, okay? Now, if you can get them to sign the divorce papers, that's gonna be infinitely quicker for you and less stressful. You're not gonna pull out your hair, okay? You're not gonna be bald like me, right? But you gotta do what you gotta do, okay? If your spouse refuses to sign the papers, your husband refuses to sign the papers, then you gotta do what you gotta do, right? Now, the judge will sign off on the decree, and then what they'll do is they'll either mail you or email you. When you sign up to Odyssey, you can put your email address in there so that you're actually emailed the copy of the divorce decree, okay? Now, let's backtrack for a moment, okay? So let's pretend that once you have served your spouse, that they answer back, okay? For your spouse to answer back, they need to file what is called an answer and a counterclaim, okay? And then they need to get that filed to the courthouse. They have to pay a $217 court filing fee to get it filed. And it's basically them answering your divorce and them stating that, hey, I agree to this point, that point, whatever, but I disagree to these points, okay? And then in the counterclaim portion of their document that they file, they're basically gonna make a counter to what you said, and they're basically gonna state, hey, this is what I want out of the divorce. So this is what I want property-wise, debt-wise, spousal support-wise, tax-wise. If you have kids, this is what I want to do in regards to the kids and all of that, okay? And then they're going to serve you those documents, okay? And then that's where things can get a little bit messy, a little bit more complicated, because at that point, they are contesting it, okay? So I'm not even gonna go into all the different 10 million different scenarios that could take place if your spouse answers it, okay? But this has been a video on what you need to do if your husband refuses to sign the divorce papers out here in Las Vegas, okay? So it can be a complicated process especially if you're doing it yourself. So if you would like some pros to do it, we are Vegas Divorce Pros. We are the pros, okay? So make sure that you get at us. You can go to our website, which is at vegasdivorcepros.com, vegasdivorcepros.com. We will be glad to talk to you for free initially, and then we'll talk to you, discuss with you what your best options are. You let us know what you want to do, and then we can get you started, okay? So typically our prices are pretty much half of the price, if not less, than a typical divorce attorney in Vegas. So again, vegasdivorcepros.com. Go to the links that are below this video. Peace, God bless you guys. It's been a pleasure.